Welcome to Gem Collectors with Shawn. I am that Shawn that has appeared again for another week. Solid living here. And for those of you in the Gem family that have followed me for some time, I went to the doctor this past week. For those of you that are new to the show and new to finding me on YouTube, welcome. You can always reach out to me, Shawn at gemshopping.com. Go to gemshopping.com or Gem Shopping Network, which is across the entire country and beyond, 24/7, 25-year anniversary coming up. We are the powerhouse network for high-end gems and jewelry. This little corner of that world is where you get to see where all those beautiful gems, jewelry, including the metals, begin. And that is in the crystal stage, the fossil stage even, rocks and minerals. You know, fossil fuels. Guess where all coal, oil, gas that you hear about all the time came from? Came from originally decomposed trees during pretty much the Pennsylvanian period, the Carboniferous period they call it. And so really our life revolves around metals in our cars, not so much anymore, minerals all the time. But you never think of actually where it all starts, including those beautiful gems on your hand, whether it be sapphire, emeralds, rubies, diamonds. Well, this show shows you and gives you the opportunity to not only learn from the items that you see, but to purchase them as well. As a matter of fact, we encourage you to purchase them. For those of you that haven't followed this particular podcast coming up on a 4-year anniversary, much of the collection you're seeing now and many of the items you see now are from a personal collection. Amassed for 50 years since I was 11 years old. And when you realize at a point in your life that all these really cool items, including gems and unusual crystals that you've bought to create a piece of jewelry for back when you were 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, and realize, wow, if you live to be 300, you could never create enough works of art out of the items that you bought to do so with. And so that's why you get to see a lot of these neat crystals that I offer for sale, finished unusual gemstones, gemstone millie, rough opal, you name it, a lot of that can be found here. So if you go to gemshopping.com, just go down to the bottom of the home page to the Learning Center. Click there. You can find this show if you just don't search under YouTube, Gem Collectors with Shawn. You can find this show and other great information about gemstones and also 30 episodes of how it's done. And that's where we show you, I host, and physically you get to see exactly how every project that you could come up with in your mind, we did so. And we not only recorded it, but we showed you how it's done and with sound. Yep, I could actually work and talk at the same time. Asif was the sole, I'm not even going to say cameraman, photographer that shot the entire series. And then another Shawn did amazing editing. And when I watch those episodes, I actually enjoy watching myself in this case. Normally I don't like to see my own shows, but I noticed when I went to watching some, I was enthralled with, wow, is that how that's done? And I'm the one that did it. But it's that kind of, if you like what you see by way of gems and jewelry around you, you will love this series of episodes that take you from lost wax casting and alloying to another total piece of jewelry, a handmade rose gold opal pendant. that a piece even spins. So really, really neat. It'll give you a complete understanding, including why sizing platinum is more than sizing gold, and so much more. To give you an example, one episode we did was a simple how to drill a gemstone. Over 100,000 views. Now, if you're, I guess, in in that world, that is a considerable number for that type of topic. Since I'm not an influencer. No, I'm a master goldsmith and master lapidary, and so that's a good number of views for that kind of subject. Okay, let's get to the trivia and comments. So last week, and at the end of every show, we do some type of trivia where in the following show, we give you the who won. And if multiple people won, then we draw a name out of the hat, so to speak. And then you get to see what prize you won. And, it's always, the prizes are always pretty desirable. All right. We had some trivia envy from last week's prize, which was a parcel of Lightning Ridge cut black opals and Lightning Ridge opals. So you just never know what you're going to win. And last week, though, we didn't do a two trivia question trivia, I guess. I put up a mineral specimen, and there was 4 distinct minerals that were part of this specimen. And so the question was to name 3 of the 4. Would get you into the winner's box to be chosen from there. Well, it was pretty easy this week to be able to figure out the winner, because there was only one who got all 4 for 4 correct. And there were 2 other very strong second place finishers that did get 3 of the 4 that would have been in the running for the winner if there wasn't a sole winner. So I know that whoever's listening out there wondering, is it me? Is it me? Well, let's find out and go through these comments. Starting off, and then I'll mention a little bit about my doctor visit. All right, starting off, Miss Cindy in Pennsylvania says, hello, Rock family. I have to confess to my pleasure in seeing you and the crew back. So sorry it was a rough week for you again. Maybe some help will be offered by the primary care visit that is coming up. Yeah, I guess you guys did know, didn't you? And I must respond. I've been reading that even people with asymptomatic mild COVID cases are showing negative brain effects. Bingo. That would be me. I for sure had trivia envy over that opal parcel prize. Yeah, I would expect pretty much anybody would. Now, we won't go into everybody's exact answers, but you'll know the 4 correct ones. Miss Cindy gets 2 out of the 4 correct by saying celadonite. Yes, celadonite. Those are the green crystals that you saw on the back side. Now, they weren't the crystals per se that were green, because those were actual little clear still bites, but it is the green celadonite behind them that is actually showing through, giving them giving them the appearance that all the crystals are green. So those little crystals, that are clear sitting on top aren't still by, if that's what I said. They're apophyllite. So they're little apophyllites. So on the other side, though, you had the big square apophyllites, the clear white ones. And yes, the term mirror apophyllite could be used. So Miss Cindy getting the celadonite right and the apophyllite part right quartz was a real good, always when in doubt, say quartz, because almost in all specimens there's a quartz. But remember what I always say and usually finish the show with is a zeolite. It's like, okay, can't have a show without showing a zeolite. Well, in this case, it was a zeolite that I featured, right? A zeolite is a family of minerals, of a particular group of minerals that have a particular molecular chain part of their chemistry to them that makes them belong to the zeolite group. So if you had that specimen, you would say, yes, overall, it's a zeolite specimen because of the primary minerals that are in it. Now, it was all on a base, right? The grayish dark rock. Well, let's see and go a little further and who gets that one right. The other answer that Miss Cindy gave, which was a very, very good one, because in so many of these specimens, this mineral slides in there, and that is calcite. Calcite, but in this particular piece, no calcites, even though there are so many different habits and formations to calcite that it can look kind of like a mockingbird that can sound like so many other different birds and people even. Calcite can look like so many other different minerals. But in this particular piece, amazingly enough, no quartz and no calcite. All right, we'll go on because now we know what 2 of the 4 are. Next is Miss Barbara. By the way, Miss Cindy finishes with, I hope this week is a good one for everyone. Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania, who has only one wish, please. Make the horrors in Ukraine stop. And I agree. Normally we don't do any politics here, but I think that is one statement that is easy to get behind and mention. Now, Miss Barbara says, hello, Professor Raven, GSN crew, and the whole Rock family. Delighted to start the week with a Monday Shawn sighting. Sorry you were feeling poorly the other week, and hopefully you will actually keep that doctor's appointment coming up. At least then, when there's no show, we don't think the worst, knowing you are under supervision and care. Pull on those big boy pants and go. Wow, Miss Barbara. Tell it like it is, right? I am glad I did because I would not want to hear the tongue lashing I'd get for not. I'll fill you in. Was pleased to see another large sample of the yellow lepidolite from Itinga. You're going to make me say that valley word, Jequitinhonha Valley, Minas Gerais, Brazil. It was a big hit in 2013, and I was happy to have gotten a smaller one from you late last year. Thanks. I too had to hit the books for the Muzo Habit quartz. Guess I was thinking Tessin habit with the slim, pointy terminations. Found Muzo in the quartz page index. Nice explanation and a little video that shows the details. Enjoying the site for anything quartz related like artichoke, gwindal, and Japan law twin explanations. Went back to the 221 show to see the little amethyst that started this, and it wasn't in inventory. Maybe you'll put it back out there after you use it to talk about. No, remember last week I said, wow, you know, I think Brad pointed out that he thought it might be Muzo Habit, and then when I realized it was only $28 and I emailed Kevin, I said, is that still available? And it had gone a week and no one had bought it. He goes, yeah. I said, would you pull it out of inventory? I want to use it and look at it after looking at it as a learning tool. And so I did, and it is Muzo Habit, and I will, I'll bring it back. I pulled it and we put it somewhere. I can't find it right now. Most, like I said, many things go back into our collection, so I think it's back home, and we have to relocate it. And knowing the Raven, it's probably tucked away on one of the shelves, which are quite crowded unless you have, but she knows where every single piece is. You know, I call her who's the name of the person in that movie with the snow? Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates. What's the name of the movie? Misery. The movie Misery. If you've never seen the movie Misery, oh, gotta see the movie. Kathy Bates. Well, I won't tell you anything else, but except for the fact that she knows she's got these little penguins. And who's the other actor? James Caan. Bumps one, and he puts it back in just a slightly different position. And from that, she knew that he had gotten up from where he was not supposed to be, and had been roaming around the house. Well, that's her. She will know if and I'm talking about, we're not talking about a dozen, keeping track of a dozen. No, we are looking at the density rate of the mineral specimens versus the cabinet or shelf or anything with a flat spot in the house. The density rate of the mineral specimens is greater than New York City and people. So, doesn't matter. She knows every single little one and where they are. She knows where that amethyst is. She just hasn't told me yet. I'll get it out of her. Trust me. You may have to go to the closet over it, though. All right. Let's get back to quartz. So, Miss Barber says, maybe you'll put it back out there after you used it to talk about. Maybe I will. It'd be kind of hard to do for the $28, though. Got the beautiful Pakistani and Hydro Aquamarine. Congratulations on that treasure. And out of, I can't tell you how many aquamarine crystals that we've had and looked at, and I've looked at. To find just one other one than the only one I'd ever seen, which is in a beautiful large aqua that Miss Gabby possesses, it was amazing enough. And to actually find that little bubble in that specimen was amazing enough. So the rarity is certainly there, and the cool factor is neat because it's just fun to play with back and forth. So she goes on to say, lovely color, and it does tricks. What could be better? I know, an interactive mineral specimen that moves, something moves inside of it. Very cool. Now to the sneaky trivia. Well, the basalt, so bingo, she gets one right there. With the green selenite, boom, Miss Barber gets 2 there. Filling the vugs, say it's a zeolite suite of minerals. That's correct. The squarish clear plates are mirror apopholites, saying it with confidence. That's 3. The white botryoidal masses could be another crystal form of apopholite or stilbite or even prehnite. Not having it in the hand makes this really difficult. I've seen, but remember what I said last week, how important it is to be able to buy by sight without having, that's what gem shopping is about. All of you should be great at it because everything you've ever purchased has been by sight alone. You've never gotten to hold anything in your hand. But in the mineral world, I told you how much I purchased in these lots that were offered, including the 4 top ones. I didn't go to Pakistan, but from the apatites, the sphenes, all those lots, I bought all of that triplites by sight and by trusting in my knowledge of sight and what I see. So it's really important to be able to make not only decisions, but be able to know what something is by just a visual confirmation of it. So she's got 3 right so far. So she goes and says, or stilbite or even prehnite. Not having hand makes this really difficult. I've seen white prehnite over analcime from the O&G quarry, Southbury, Connecticut. So I'll go with that. Especially since you showed a Connecticut white prehnite earlier in the show and might have had another specimen at hand. As I said, sneaky. Now, 3 out of 4 would have gotten you, of course, your entrance into being a potential winner. And I say 3 out of 4 because, Barbara, you're going to pinch yourself, because you remember, and I think it was you, that you had forgotten that prehnite is not a zeolite, even though it is found with zeolites, but in actuality, it is a calcium alumosilicate, and further down the line, a phyllosilicate. So it's really a silicate family and not a zeolite family mineral, even though it is often found with the zeolites. That part is sneaky, because it didn't have to be a total zeolite specimen, but it pretty much, because the celadonite is a little bit different group, but it was primary visual on top. What you could visually see was nothing but zeolites, and that being, I'm not going to tell you yet what the white spherical formations are until we get to the winner. Because I know the person sitting there that is the winner is thinking, I wonder if. All right, so we'll keep going. Now, Miss Barbara goes on to say, well, notwithstanding the deep freeze the entire East Coast experienced this past weekend, spring is less than a week away, so get ready for those nice mild days that everyone enjoys. Be well, everybody. Yeah, except my peach and plum blossoms got totally hard frozen, hard freeze. And you're going to see that Miss Gabby, who lives actually not far from me, and we had snow flurries all day, same day she did, on Saturday, this past Saturday, and that was pretty cool, you know. But second year in a row, I'm glad I'm not a peach farmer, because my blossoms, my peaches, no crop, all dead. Next, we have Miss Sue in Texas. Miss Sue in Texas getting basalt right, and the fact that they all were, it was a zeolite mineral specimen. And also mentioning calcite, of course, that's always there were some very calcite looking crystals there, but no. And I'll show the specimen again when we get started. No, pray that all is well with everyone in our rock group. Shawn, happy to hear you are feeling better this week. Do you have any Burma peridot crystal specimens to sell? As always, I enjoyed your Rock and Gem podcast. I am more aware than ever how fortunate I am to have the freedom to choose what I want to watch. Yes, I think everybody will feel that way when they realize what an open system we have, where we can watch and choose from all kinds of different networks and stations. Referring to the Burma crystal, as far as actual crystalline shapes that are recognizable as crystals, no. Not too many peridot comes in those well-recognized crystal shapes. The Pakistani crystals actually are the ones that, if you want a peridot crystal, are the ones to have, with the really neat black inclusions, the Ludwigite in them. That they'll say is rutile, because we know what rutile is, but in all actuality, it's a totally different mineral. But it makes for a really neat inclusions in the peridot, and that's one way you can always determine if it's a Pakistani peridot, is if it has these black inclusions that look like real rutile, but they're not. They're another mineral called Ludwigite, and that's how you know. So the Pakistani rough that I showed you last week, they are more of a non-crystalline shape to them. I do have a couple others that I have not ground into, but if you're looking for a particular crystal form, they're not in. It's kind of looking for a turquoise crystal. You're not going to find a turquoise crystal. You're going to find a rough nugget or a triplite crystal. They just don't come really well formed. And just like peridot, remember the Arizona peridots aren't crystal shaped. The Chinese peridots aren't when you find them in much of a crystalline shape. The Pakistani ones are some of the nicest ones, and I've had those before. Some beautiful Pakistani, some even larger ones in the past. And you don't see them in the matrix too often either. That's something hard to find. If I come across any, or I'll look at the ones I have, and if they look crystalline shape, we'll see. If they're facet grade quality, Not so sure. But anyway, I'll check into that. Miss Ursula says, Shawn, hello, and your viewers will gladly agree that you were on fire during today's show. Mr. Anthony also deserves our accolades. I always liked the owl pendant that he had gifted to you more than a year ago. Those samurai eyes are absolutely stunning. You see the green I am wearing today because I am recording this show today being St. Patrick's Day. So even though you won't see it on St. Patrick's Day, I'm going to wish all of you a happy St. Pat's Day right now. Naturally, by my name, I do have Irish in me, a quarter Irish, and Welsh. So, which gives me the fair skin, which leads me to more medical problems. We'll get to those in a minute. Let's see. The cotton ball look of the oakonite is unmistakable along with gyrolite. Prehnite as well as apopholites sitting on a bed of quartz and nestled in a basalt geode. And that's my final answer. LOL. Well, let's see. How many answers do we have there? Oakonite, gyrolite, prehnite, quartz, basalt, and apopholite. Which ones do I want to pick for your 3? No. So actually what I gave you was a 3 out of the 6, but I'm not going to still tell what the last one is. So for that one person that is the winner. But of course, we already know that quartz is incorrect, the basalt is correct, the apopholite is correct, and one of the other 3 that you mentioned is correct. But we know prehnite isn't correct. So now we're down to 2 of the others. 1 of the 2 leaves the 4th unknown. Thank you again for those novel skeletal quartz crystal points. They are now sitting next to a polished rock crystal from Brazil on the window ledge in my computer room. Just lovely to look at while gathering my thoughts. And quartz will help you gather those thoughts, being that, there's a lot of, electrical conductivity to quartz. And wishing you, Miss Raven, and all the Rock County community a happy St. Patrick's Day. How perfect to read that on this day to us, being that it is St. Patrick's Day today. May the wind be always at your back and the sun upon your face. Sincerely, Miss Ursula. All right, so Miss Ursula getting 3 out of 6. We have next, Mr. Harry, who chimed in last week, who we hadn't heard from in a while. If I have time, I have a really nice gemstone I'm going to show you that he had cut. Well, hello, gang, and I just live seeing your smiling face, Shawn. And hey, when you can't make the next show deadline, please don't feel bad about it. I am going to speak for all of us out here saying we could care less about anything else. It's about your health, dear brother professor, and we are all praying for your complete healing. Wow. Wow. I mean, that's hits my sensitive side, and I'll try to avoid going there. But Harry, what a generous and kind thing to say, and I really appreciate that, because you don't know how bad I feel when I'm not here for you. The guilt is terrible. It kind of adds to my stress sometimes, so I try to let it go. But I know how much you guys look forward to it. I look forward to being here, and so it's a disappointment for both of us. But I am only disappointing one person, myself, within myself. When in actuality, I'm disappointing all of you as well, because I know you'd rather see me there than not there. And when you know I'm not there, it's for medical reasons, for not feeling well, and that's the bad part. He goes on to say, okay, that said, I too have a gem problem. Remember last week when Mr. Anthony stood up and so, admittedly said, I am Anthony and I have a gem problem. Well, Harry admits too that he has a gem problem. I have used my Graves Mark IV way too much to cut over 400 gemstones, all weighed, measured, and gem jarred, ready to go. That's a lot of cutting. Let me tell you, I know. So is Mark IV Graves. I'm glad to see he's using the Graves. I too. And I have, like I said, the top of the line. I had 3 others, but I actually traded one of the faster machines. And the most expensive faster machine that's in the market that they make. I have one of those. I still have it. Do I use it? No. I am so used to my still a little bit of out of round from the age of 15. So I mean, they should do a commercial out of me and my graves because I love it. I love it. I know all of its quirks, and I can work with those quirks and do the amazing recutting that I do, which is of course going in and finding, which I do for many of the other vendors here when they get an estate piece and it needs a stone may have a bad abrasion. You know, it doesn't pass quality control here at Gem Shopping Network, and that's what I'm really proud of the network being. Even to me, they're sometimes a little too critical, but if you know, a stone has a particular abrasion or something across the table like that, they won't even let it be shown until it's fixed. So I'm one of the ones that is able to go in and find the particular indexing and angle of what that facet was cut by someone else, and then only polish out the little nick or scratch. If you send it overseas, they don't know anything about repair of gemstones, but they know how to cut them. So what they do, if it's a couple little nicks, instead of just polishing out those little nicks, too time consuming, they'll go ahead and repolish the entire top. It's quicker for them. They just cut new angles all the way around. They don't care about weight loss, and they'll lose a lot of weight, whereas I lose a point, sometimes even immeasurable, on certain very obvious scratches, and it's not even measurable, the loss of weight. So that's why I specialize in anymore. And also the unusual part about me is I'm also the goldsmith. So instead of in other cases where a piece has to be sent to a separate goldsmith to have the stone taken out, then it goes to a cutter where the stone's repolished, then it has to go back to the stone setter. I am a one-stop shop for all of that, and it makes it really convenient. And I'm right here in the same building, so needless to say, I have a lot of that kind of work, but I enjoy faceting and recutting and the challenge to that, and it keeps me going. So he goes on to say on the trivia, here, you got to watch the show a little bit more, got to watch those zeolites, but he, you know, the classics, and he added one, calcite, quartz, which that specimen easily could have had both of those. Those minerals look very much like a calcite formation or a quartz formation, and from fluorite. And he's right, fluorite, because of those cubes. Those cubes absolutely look like a fluorite crystal, so a great addition there. God bless and get better, Professor. We can't do this without you. Don't forget how precious you are, okay? Wow. Mr. Harry, thank you so much. P.S. Have you ever cut a Cleopatra's eye design that is a faceter's challenge? One has to float some Barian angles in. Woohoo! Yeah, no, I haven't, and that is a difficult cut. And that's one where you just have to start with the material and have the ability to grind it away. It's not something you want to try to do on material you're trying to save weight with, because that's often winging it to get those angles just right for it to come out looking like that. But I have not done that one. Portuguese, yes, and things like that. And, you know, in my own custom cuts, which usually wind up some of the most creative cutting designs, have started out as a mistake. And that has happened often. So oftentimes as a faceter, you're going in and maybe on the indexing, which controls the 360 degrees around the stone. Then you have the angles, which are from 0 to 90 degrees. Well, many times if you're moving fast, you may not index it, put it on the correct little index spot, especially a 96 tooth index gear, and boom, before you know it, you cut a new, and it happens with diamonds, but they won't repeat the mistake. They're called, you know, they're extra facets in diamonds. To take out a little spot, and you'll see this extra facet. Well, so all of a sudden you cut an extra facet, and it may really show up. What you have to do is repeat it symmetrically, depending on how many sides the stone is that you're cutting, whether it's a round or whether it's a rectangle or octagon, you just repeat the mistake the same multiples symmetrically all the way around the stone. And then it looks like by design. And then you can go and add from there. And that is oftentimes, then you come out with, wow, that really, looks great. And then you name it, your new cut, custom, all starting from a mistake. Happens often. And if a cutter says he's never made the mistake of cutting in an extra facet, they're fibbing. So anyway, good to hear from you there, Mr. Harry, and thank you so much for your kind words. Miss Gabby says, greetings and salutations once again, Rock family. Greetings and salutations. We discussed that driving over here. Where have we heard that? Where have we heard that? And I actually had to look it up on the internet. So I didn't even recognize, I thought it would be something familiar. But that came from like the Demolition Man, a movie where it was first said, and then it was said in some other unknown little diatribe. And so I don't know. It wasn't the greetings and salutations that is in my mind. I'm still trying to think of where I heard it from some movie. They used it, but anyway, that started a whole conversation between us. Doesn't take much. We have a long drive that we have to hang out together in the vehicle to and fro. So, leads to who knows what. We talk about all of y'all. So she says, greetings and salutations once again, Rock family. Yep, winter sure seems to be hanging on. Was in Flowery Branch last week, which actually is right down the road from where Dave lives. He lives real close to Flowery Branch last week, and we had flurries all Saturday afternoon there. That just ain't right, LOL. Yeah, but we were hoping for a bigger snow. That's Dave and I. Haven't heard from customer service yet. We'll keep you posted. I mentioned it to Kevin again, and he said that they've been really busy, and so he said that he would see to that. So hopefully by the time you get this message, just know that I passed it on to Kevin again, and customer service has been really busy. I would give you right now the item numbers, but I wouldn't want them to be poached, let's say, by an unknown, and someone else grab the item. So let's still try this other route. And meanwhile, some are still at work. Trivia. The first 4 things I noticed about the specimen order were, all right, here we go. Gyrolites, apopholites, celadonite, and their host rock. So she's at 3 for 3 so far. Remember, what is the one I said that everyone else has missed that she got? Gyrolite. Gyrolite. Yes, that's what those white spheres are. But you're going to, now, she goes withdrawing if correct. So she's opting out if she's the winner. She's going to kick herself because I know that, Miss Gabby, you know better when you said that the host rock was rhyolite, which in so many times and cases you would have been right. It's just the wrong volcanic matrix rock. So similar, but definitely different because it's basalt. That the zeolites are known to form in the vesicles and cavities outside of Mumbai and the quarries there. Rhyolite, of course, is the rock that you've heard so much about, and what the Mexican opals form in, that type of rock, and so many other. Rhyolites are involved in so many other different minerals. Topaz. The topazes are found in rhyolite and such. But as far as the zeolite group, basalt is what they favor. So you were 3 out of 4. Now we have Mr. Anthony. He says the purchase of the lepidolite mica, star sapphire, and the herkimer have for the moment eased my suffering pertaining to my rock and gem problem. Okay, sometimes you have to just give in and feed the habit. Thank you for my cure, sir. What I came up with trivia is Anthony, calcite, but I understand calcite. Fluorite, yes, I understand fluorite because of those square white clear crystals that, of course, were apophyllite. And topaz. However, the green windows on the underside of the matrix, which may be basalt, but the green druzy, like maybe chalcedony. Oh, he's going to give a Miss Ursula answer. That's what I got. Just throw a little bit more against the wall, Tony, and it's gonna, you'll get there. All right, so we know that, of course, the basalt would have been right, and everything else not quite so right. But we love you anyway, Tony. You know, we'll keep working at it. I'm just kidding. I think you just overthought that one. On the triplite, yeah, well, you know, he makes up for it. Remember, this is the guy that cut that incredible square cushion triplite out of that rough that I sold. Yeah, little did I know there was a stone like that in there. On the triplite, 5 to 5.5 on Mohs was, for me, was a little tricky. One crystal that I had polished open a window led me to a relatively clean, over ½ carat of material. Then the stone guided me to a cushion shape. This one was not planned. No, they're often not. When you start cutting, the material will tell you, and it's true, what shape stone that it wants you to cut from it. And it is very often the material, unless it's a very obvious, clean piece that you know what direction you want to go, plenty of material to work with. But when it's something like the triplite rough, where you really don't know until you get into the material as far as what it looks like, once you start into there, it really will. And cutting into it, the shape, and if you don't have to do it like cut to a particular shape or order, yeah, the shape will actually, the stone will actually guide you and lead you to what it wants to be. I know, it sounds like, you know, hokey kind of thing, but it's not. It's been happened that way too many times. What I wanted to force onto the rough for what I wanted to cut out of it, many times, no, it didn't turn out that way. So I learned to just go with the flow on that one. So yeah, I'm jealous of that beautiful stone you cut out of that triplite. Wow, what a gem. Again, with time, maybe I want to get in and look into some more of that material myself and see if I can't find a stone like that in there. So, okay, we have, well, 2, 3 for 4 winners. I said there was only one winner, 4 for 4, and she must know who she is by now, because I have not read her comment. Miss Elisa in Florida, congratulations. Let me read what she wrote. Hello, Rock Family, GSN crew, Professor Shawn, and the lovely Raven. Thank you, GSN Shipping, for packing my order perfectly. And I do like to pass those on, your compliments on to shipping, because they do a stunning job. And Andy, boss man over there, is an amazing guy, just a really great guy as well. You know, so everybody really involved with this entire show is salt of the earth. Couldn't wish for a better crew. My order arrived in perfect condition. So glad to watch your latest show, Shawn. You had some great items. My answer to the trivia for this week is, and she just nails it, gyrolite, apophyllite with mirror in parentheses, basalt and celadonite. Clean, simple, done, said with confidence. Then she says, if I was able to get any of those minerals correct, it is all because of you, Shawn. You have taught me so much. I truly appreciate you all. Thank you. Stay safe, everyone, and I'm looking forward to next week's show. Elisa. Wow. You know, and then you don't take any credit for yourself. You're humble as well and hand it back to me. But no, it's your memory, because this is one that you couldn't fast forward or play or cheat or do anything as far as getting the answers go in a trivia answer. It had to be visual identification. And you did it with confidence, bravado, and wow, okay. I know you're anxious to see. Let me show you what you have won this week from the Made in America collection. Wow, okay. Made in America. Check this out. the cave-in rock, so we'll take that number down because this is a free item. And going to Miss Elisa. And what is so cool about this fluorite is the fact that it is from the United States. And it's really neat, these octahedrons. And if we can pull that number down off the graphics, please. These fluorites are really unique. And the thing about these crystals is it's what they call cleavage octahedrons, or they could be natural. Now, nature does create these and forms of crystals, but what often was the case is, especially in the 50s and 60s, and these are really old estate crystals, and the word crystal can be used, they would get massive amounts of fluorite. So fluorite, let's say, would be in a big bulk section of fluorite, not just a crystallized pocket of it or anything, all right? So what they would do, and I actually showed Raven this is true because I took a piece of fluorite and I said, watch, I'm going to make babies from it. And she did not believe me. But fluorite has perfect cleavage in 3 directions. And if you hit it right, just like a diamond, you can, how the old Grey Poupon commercial showed someone cleaving a diamond, and then I'm asking for mustard, what it had to do with one or the other, I don't know. But it actually showed cleaving a diamond. Cleaving a diamond is the process of hitting a diamond in the correct, proper place aligned between the rows of atoms in the pure carbon that causes it to split right along the cleavage plane. And as opposed, even now, they do sawing, even with laser sawing, takes a long time versus just all of a sudden tapping it, a big diamond crystal, and splitting the crystal right in the cleavage planes, which often took, of course, a long time to study exactly how the crystal formed. And sometimes it did not go well in the olden days when they tried to do that, because they didn't have any real method of getting through a big stone with any kind of speed. Now, I say that because, yes, you can hit these or hit massive fluorite and make these. So the miners in their spare time would cleave what they call a cleavage octahedron, and during their lunch hour and whatnot, out of this bulk fluorite, and make these octahedrons and either give them to the kids for fun or sell them. Here's the thing. They're not doing that anymore. This is a rare, unusual locality in Illinois. And one of the things that in the bulk fluorite, almost always when they did cleavage octahedrons, they were of a solid color, because the material that they would work with would be a solid color. Here we go. I want to show you that this one as well. And so these, I kind of wondered about because, yeah, look at that. Look at that. Because they're not one solid color. And it takes a special talent to be able to create one like that with having the stripes in it and plan it to come out that way, creating cleavage octahedrons. So some of them are actually difficult to tell whether they're a cleavage octahedron or a genuine crystal growth octahedron, or of course bipyramidal form. So these, good chance they're cleavage octahedrons, but they're really, really nice. They're very collectible from this location, the cave-in rock in Illinois. And, it's a much, much less common fluorite. And these are much harder to find, the Illinois ones, in the any of the shows, and to see them around anymore. It's just a real unusual discovery. I only have a few left because I think I've sold some here. I've given some away, I think, previously. And it's just a neat special set. And I picked those 3 in particular for whoever the lucky winner was. And I like the fact, of course, that they are from Illinois. They're from America. Okay, let me tuck those away and we'll get the show started. Remember I said about Mr. Harry? He also, of course, is one of our family fasteners, and I want to show off one of his very beautiful custom cuts. And more importantly, I actually wanted to point this out right here. See that finger right there? When I hear other people say that they cut stones or they're gem cutters, first thing I ever do is look at that finger, because if they are, it is going to have some kind of, cuts, scratches, damage, no fingerprint because you're using it across the diamond laps and whatnot. And that right there tells me that a true gem cutter is holding that stone. So I wanted to show you that is a beautiful, beautiful custom cut, one of Harry's designs, and love the fact that he has gotten a lot of his beautiful material from this show as well. Okay, let me show the mineral specimen we can bring up that we talked about. Here it is that I said I would show, and I wanted to just make sure everybody got to see the gyrolites. All right, so you can recognize them. These are the gyrolite spheres. These are the apopholites, and then as we come in, there we go, beautiful, and you can see the gyrolites, the apopholites, and then the green celadonite. And of course, this is the blackish green basalt. And you can see the celadonite, and it's actually little clear apopholites that crystals are in those bugs as well, with the green selenite often giving it the green color. So that's how you can recognize, even though prehnite forms in that formation as well, in that color, not so often. And then, of course, you can see why they look like fluorites. So very good, everybody. All right, check this out. Something you don't see too often. These black spinel. I actually got this spinel myself when I was in Kanchanaburi, and I should have put that in the description. But anyway, when I was in Kanchanaburi in Thailand and went out to the Bopoi sapphire mine, and that's where a lot of, as a byproduct, spinel. It is like the center of the world for black spinel, because they have scenes 3 and 4 feet long carved out of pieces of black spinel. These because it's such a hard material, these really intricate, you can get really delicate carvings from them. So these shops have stunning carvings out of black spinel, and beautiful, beautiful workmanship, and it's neat to see. It was neat, and it's right, the Kanchanaburi is where the bridge over the River Kwai is, if you've ever seen that, one of my favorite war movies. And it's kind of neat though, because I actually walked across the bridge over the River Kwai, and it had been rebuilt, but there is a couple of machine gun pit holes in the concrete part of the bridge now. It's nothing like what you see in the movie, but it was surreal because and it wasn't nearly as high up, but looking down from the bridge, there was a mahout and his elephant. There was an elephant bathing itself. There were, people playing and washing their clothes in the river, and it was just a step back in time. And I spent a couple of weeks in Kanchanaburi and went to a Buddhist monastery and really found a lot of peace there. I really, really liked that, their sense of spirituality. And it really went out to the, I actually went out to the Burma Railway with a friend who had a lot of pull from the British Embassy, and with a metal detector, and we found the old railroad tracks from where the Burma Railroad used to be, and we went to Hell's Pass, which is where so many of the prisoners of war died building this pass. And this, we went up to Three Pagodas Pass, which was in Burma. This is where I crossed into Burma. But anyway, along the way, I picked up some rough black spinel. This material is stunning for using as backing for making opal doublets or doublets of any kind. It takes an extremely high polish. It's extremely hard. It is very tough and durable, and it's a good, natural, solid, true black color. So here's a couple pieces that not only would make beautiful, it's spinel. So as part of a Spinel collection. What a great addition. It's $18 for the 2 pieces. If nothing else, if you're a lapidary, you have to have some Spinel around to use for whatever you may, $18, you may use for so many other purposes doing lapidary work. So two fantastic pieces of some material that I did not bring back much of it at all. Only $18. Now, let me give you a chance at something that's on sale. Yes, we are continuing the sale along with new goodies. Wait till you see some of the other items. We are sale pricing item 965 520 965 520. I only have, let's see, what do we have here? Only 3. Wait, let's see. Yes. Okay. So, is it 4 parcels? I believe. Let me see here. Okay. Make sure that's the same. Yep. 5 parcels. A total of 5 parcels of bitonite. Now, bitonite. Look at this. And I tumbled this myself. Now, Dave actually got some grit from me because remember his moonstones that he found? Well, he's going to tumble them. I bought this bitonite and tumbled it myself. I did all of this and got this incredible, beautiful, high polish on this material. Now you're saying, well, what is bitonite? Well, it is a feldspar. It is a type of feldspar. Remember how many different types of feldspars there are? Now, many years ago, they used this type of feldspar to diffuse and create an orange material that sold, and it's something you want to stay away from. So if you see any of that ever offered anymore, just stay away from it. But it is this material. If you ever wondered what it came from, it was the. Look at it. Look, it was this. Look at it, because this is very inexpensive and readily available for them to end up cutting hundreds of thousands of carats of something that wasn't. Now this, look at that. Look at the facet grade quality. If anybody wants to experiment, and this is where it's a great material to do experiment cutting with, because if it comes out great, you have something really cool. It's a beautiful yellow feldspar, right? But if it doesn't come out so great, so you don't have a whole lot in the cost of the material. Look at this. I know exactly the mine it came from. It's listed right there. And that's kind of neat as well, because then you can follow the history and the story of this material. Bitonite. Okay, so Bytown was a very old name for, I don't want to get this wrong, but I'm sure I will be corrected. Very old name for, I think it was Ottawa, Canada. I know it was Ottawa or Toronto, Canada, and boy, I tell you what, I should know better as far as remembering it, but at least I know it's Canada. It's easy enough to look up, and it's coming to me, the association, but it's either on Ontario or Toronto or Ottawa. In a minute, and I'll add a 4th Canadian city to it. Just keep it going. Okay, so I only have 5 of these. These are on sale. These are on sale. They're beautifully tumbled, facet grade material. You could use them for all kinds of other displays. They're 100 carat parcels. So yeah, there's 100 carats to a parcel. Thank you. And I have 5 parcels, and believe it or not, I have dropped the price on these. An incredible sale value for 100 carats, fascinating grade quality material for only $24. $24 for 100 carats of really fantastic material. Now, remember, this adds another mineral specimen to your collection because it's a different type of feldspar that you probably do not have. and that counts. All right, take advantage of that. Now, let me show you. I have, well, I have some stunning treats here, but okay, by request, remember the other week we had a request, I believe it was by Peggy, wanting to see some aquas. Well, I have going to do a kind of a couple of items here in the barrel family. Aqua and something else. Let's look at 1052122. 1052122. And you know what I'm going to give you a chance at? Is to get something that will be almost impossible to get down the road. Oh, by the way, by tonight, it's a type of anorthite. It's a calcic plagioclase. It just all came back to me. And yes, it was Ottawa. I got it right the first time. It was the original old-time name for Ottawa, Canada. And a calcic plagioclase. So 70% anorthite. So it's a calcium, sodium, aluminum, silicon. So there you go. There's the rest of the info. And what a chance to get in on something. So, all right, what you're looking at, Russian heliodor. Now, what is so many great things about this, okay, and here's the thing. Yes, of course, there's going to be blowback on Russian products, but you know what? It's going to be impossible to get Russian minerals. It's going to be impossible to get Russian minerals. And so I shouldn't, the smart person in me, which hasn't been around to be found lately, but the smart person in me would keep these and not offer any of them for sale, because what happens if a product's taken out of the marketplace? Well, the price just goes up on what is in the marketplace. This is an incredible Russian heliodor. Now, here's the other cool thing about learning about heliodor. You know what? True heliodor is a greenish yellow barrel. A greenish yellow barrel. Now, everything golden is called golden barrel. It doesn't matter what color it is. It would be this would be golden barrel. This actually has a little bit of a very cool two-tone nature to it, a little bit going almost to green barrel, which if that was the case, green barrel, it would increase the value in multiples to cut it and orient it enough for it to be a more green. This is certainly facet grade color down at this end. Look at the two-tone, by the way. Look at this. Look at this. In the barrel, you have a little bit of blue next to the yellow, and boy, that is obvious right there, that two-tone factor. And you can certainly cut a stone on this end. Here's the other neat thing. It's a twinned. It's actually, you can see right down there, two crystals coming together growth-wise. So this is a big crystal, Russian material, which I'm giving you an opportunity now to get it before I change my mind and pull it all together. What a beautiful crystal that would make to add to your barrel collection, or just to say you have something from Russia, because there's not too many things that you can have. Here, how would you like this? Sale priced $48. Only $48 on that. Outstanding opportunity. Now, let's do this. Let's kind of alternate around. I have next for you item number 1051722. 1051722. Now, let me show you. Look at this, just so you can see the size of the color. Now, these are the bigger gem tubes, all right? So they're not the small gem tubes. You can see how big this is. Now, this is the month of March. This is why we are celebrating Aquamarine, because it is the birthstone for the month of March. You can see how large that is. And wow, how beautiful. Now, as we come in close on this, you're going to see etching. Now, what etching is when a crystal will grow, what can happen is some other solutions. Wow, look at that color. All this is all natural. None of this has been heat treated. The color is exactly the way it came out of the ground. So what can happen is other hot hydrothermal solutions or other type of solutions come through that will eat away, that's kind of I'd rather say etch away part of the crystal, as you can see. Then what happens is oftentimes in the etched out areas, other minerals can grow within them. And you can see that. Let me get my little poker. For one thing, there's always feldspar floating around that will fill in some of these areas that you're seeing, but you're seeing some other mineralization right in here that needs to be looked at. There could be some chlorite as well. Look at down here. Also keep in mind, this often allows a solution to get trapped, because what can happen is you can have these open areas, so it'll create a void, something else will grow over the top of it and lock a solution in, and that's how you get your little anhydros. These all need to be inspected for the water bubbles. For me to look at these, tilt them back and forth 1,000 times, I don't have time for that. Look at the beautiful irises in this. Really gorgeous. And then looking down from the top, look at that wonderful hexagonal shape. So you can see it's a complete crystal form. Now let me show you the special part of this as we look right here. Look right underneath the tweezers. And as we come in on that, what we have in this particular crystal, this is a special aqua, it's not just a regular aqua, is what we have. If it was a quartz, we'd call it a manifestation crystal or quartz. It's an internal crystal of aquamarine. Let me show you from the outside. So from the outside, as we catch the light on it, look at that. See that perfect six-sided little shape you have there? Well, that's only right on the surface, just barely creating that. So what that is, this entire other crystal grew around. Look at that, that's a penetration crystal right there. So formed around that, which is amazing. That's amazing. So you have, this is the only, out of all the crystals I have seen, the only real true internal aqua crystal. Now, you know, we've seen and I've sold the internal quartz crystals where you have quartz crystal around a quartz crystal, but not aqua. And you can see it right there. Oh, let me show you from this side as well, that it is truly, you can see it right there, if we can get the focal plane on that particular crystal, just there, how far it goes and penetrates into the aqua. And so look at that, reflecting off of it in that direction as well. And this, I only, because this is the only one I've ever seen with a very distinct internal crystal, and showing very distinctly its six-sided, boy, that color of aqua is just so, so pretty. There we go, the distinct six-sided shape of it. So that's just one of the other goodies. You can explore this crystal. A lot of time can be spent looking inside of it. And this is a nice large one to boot. Opportunity knocking on it because it is only $48. Only $48 on that. And with that internal crystal like that, that adds a big level of rarity, because it would be like, okay, go find another one. Well, I have never seen another one till that one. So take advantage of it. Okay, so skipping around, let's look at this next one. Oh yeah, we're doing a little barrel special here, being that it is March. How about item 1051822? 1051822. Look at this, and I do it against the white so you can see the exact color of it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. Facet grade Russian heliodor. And let me take it out of here. Again, facet grade Russian heliodor. This is material I have had for years. Those of you that remember when I showed it, last time I showed it, how long ago it's been, yeah, I've been sitting on it. Why wouldn't I? When can I get some more? So you know what? This is how silly I am. Oh, because of all this coming out. I remembered. I remembered I had Russian material. But of all times to sell it, this is the time to keep it, Shawn. But I want to share it because, you know, again, just nothing else is going to be coming out. There's not going to be gems and minerals, Russian gems and minerals, any new stuff. Not going to happen. Look at the intense color of the greenish color this way. In other words, if you took this and you oriented the crystal in this direction versus this direction, you could get a much more intense color to it. But this, for size, I would certainly cut it in this direction as an emerald cut, which is why they call emerald cuts, is because the shape, which, you know, emerald is a beryl, the shape of the beryl family crystals, the way they grow, really lend themselves very often to emerald cuts for maximum weight, because you can already see there's a table, here's the crown, here's the girdle. There's not a cleavage plane that you have to worry about like in topaz, so it doesn't split. So, and then here's the pavilion. Look at, you barely have to close in the angles here. Maximum weight. You could get, look at that, 11 karat in the rough. In this one, normally you only get a 40 to 50% recovery if you do well. Case like that, I bet a good cutter, a good cutter could probably get a 7 karat stone out of that. Cut it deeper down here so you can maximize the color. Again, here's what I was going to say about heliodor. The name heliodor has been misused. It is and has been intended for beryl that is a yellowish green, greenish yellow color. That's the original intent for the name, but anymore it's everything is golden beryl because they think that's what you want, and or they call a golden beryl heliodor when it shouldn't really be a heliodor. A heliodor is a specific color, not like they're representing it now. If you go by the original intent and color of the meaning of what they wanted, this is much more representative of it, of a true heliodor. That color, that's an expensive color in a beryl. And if you get a little bit more green, even more so. Price on this, that beautiful crystal, how would you like it for only $38? $38 on that. Okay, let's go to 105-2022. 105-2022. And let's see what we get. All right, let's show you this guy. And wow, look at this. Look at this intense color. Now, let's talk about, let me make sure I have the right number because that's certainly not the right height for this one. Yeah, let me see. 105-2022. It shouldn't say 2 inches. Yeah, let me just show you to make sure. 105-2022. So here we go. So this is Orongo Mountain. So all these aquas I've been showing you, whereas remember, I get aquas 2 different locations, Gilgit, Pakistan, and then the other Orongo Mountains of Namibia. So these have been Namibian aquas. You can see this one and my notations on this with crystal and etching. So let me show you what I am talking about when I say by color. Let's look at this. here, this is one of the coolest pieces and why I've had it tucked back, because it kind of looked kind of like, oh, right? Well, let me show you what's so cool about it. Look at the top of this. Look at this. Let me get my pointer out, because when I say twinned, look at this separate crystal. You see where this crystal stops? Look at that. And then here is another crystal that is growing up against this one. Here we go. Let me catch the light on it and you can see it exactly. Look at that. You have two crystals side by side. And look, there is just a very slight difference in the elevation of one. They're almost the same height, but there's just enough that to catch your fingernail. Look at, there we go. Great camera work there. Look at that, just a little bit higher than the other. But look at the differences in color. Add the irises in there. It is a distinct two crystal piece. Now, let's show you etching, all right? Let's talk about the etching again. Okay, so here is, you have some fantastic striations. Look at this little guy. Look at this little goshenite barrel, which is clear barrel. And you turn it on its side, you can see it. It's a little crystal coming off the side. I love little bonuses like that. Look at that intense natural color blue. And then let's turn this around. Look at that blue. That blue would be a deeper color blue than even when they want to use the word, overuse it for Santa Maria Aqua and such. Yeah, that's the real deal right there. Now, looking down into the etching part of this is another whole world. Remember, other minerals will often grow where the aqua was etched out. And you'll find in these little tiny pockets with magnification oftentimes, other little crystals. It could be from calcite to feldspar and whatnot. Or if it just is kind of nothing special, if you want, and it should be okay, take a sharp, like dental pick or something that you create, even a pin is fine. And you can actually pick out and clean out. Remember, that's part of specimen preparation. And you can often clean out a lot of those areas if it's so desired. The thing about this specimen, which many would overlook and not even notice it, it's the twinned crystal. The very well-defined growth of two crystals together. And you get the two different colors of each. Which is kind of cool as well. A really nice, unusual, unique formation. It's a big crystal, but I have it priced at only $58. $58. And again, if you're a collector of the unique, this would fall into that category, which is why I have it. It's, like I said, I'm down to selling many specimens that have been in my collection, and so out of all the aquas, which ones did I want to keep? The ones that were different. The one you just saw with the internal aqua crystal, this one with the twinned crystals, absolutely making it unique as well. And now, we're not done. Let me show you. This is a fun opportunity. 105-1522. 105-1522. Let me show you. Yes, it is a combo pack, you could call it. Look at that. Now, this didn't really give you a good side-by-side comparison of the Russian heliodor and the Namibian aqua. Look at those colors. Natural color here, natural color here. Look at the two-tone. Look at the little banding of the aqua going through. Look at that little blue color right there going through there. I'm just keeping them here for the moment because it's easier to see against the white background. Look at the clarity of this one. Yeah, that's facet grade right in there. That's facet grade right in there. What a fantastic opportunity to get two very desirable origins for the aqua, and of course Russian heliodor. When you're going to find that? Yeah, wherever you're going to find that, you're not. But here at Gem Shopping, here at Gem Collectors with Shawn, hence that name, Gem Collectors. There's a reason why, and actually it was great. Asif came up with that name when I very first came here, and he goes, "Do you like the name?" I said, "I love the name." Look at that. Look at those lines of blue alternating in the growth of this crystal. The chemical makeup of the solutions that it was working with changed ever so much and gives you stripes of blue intermingled. Look at that. Talk about facet grade now. There's two stones in there. This one would cut a really unique banded gem. Wow, this end would cut another fantastic. You know, if you tried to buy facet grade rough, how much that would be in this type of material. I can't even imagine. But here's the other thing. How much would it be for facet grade crystal? If you go and buy a crystal like this, they're not gonna discount it just because it's a crystal. No, they're gonna look at this and figure, okay, well, it's gonna be X, and rightfully so, worth X number of dollars if this was faceted. And that is really oftentimes the way they will look at gem material that they are selling as a crystal that could actually be cut and faceted. And this is one of those that you face that with, you know. And why I kept it, I was going to cut it. I was going to cut this one, but I hate to cut a beautiful crystal. And so why I have it is because it's a beautiful crystal, and I've decided to leave it alone. Look at the color in that. A true multicolor Russian. And remember, you know, you can get caviar from other places. I'm thinking you can get vodka from other places. Okay? These things can be made. But heliodor, crystals like this, you're not going to find them other places. No, this is the mineral world. It knows no boundaries. It doesn't know, country borders. So, but the politics of the situation does. Let me show you that aqua. Look at this aqua. And so, yeah, are you going to be able to find heliodor? No. Only what's already out there. And this is already out there, what I have. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this one. It's so cool. Here we go. I love it when there's secondary crystal growth. And again, beautiful natural color. This is a unique additional faces on the crystal. You can see the 6 sides to it, and then you get these other unique formations to it. This is one that I didn't explore long enough, so there's branches to be found. Looking down amongst there, remember, tilt them back and forth. The Brandberg amethysts from the Orongo Mountains are so well known for anhydros in the quartz family. It's one of the best areas to get anhydro quartz. But to get anhydro aqua, I just have not seen it, except that one other piece, which was a Pakistan piece. Yeah, the only 2 I've ever had were Pakistan. So Orongo, look, you can check them out. It's always worth looking and having fun tilting back and forth, and you may find that surprise that I have it. Yeah, excellent price on the 2 of these. Only $88. $88. That is a sale price. That's where a combination got you a discount. Item 105, 1622. 105, 1622. Now, if you missed out on that one, you may want to write down this item number as well for a second choice, because ooh la la, I have made another combination. And let me tell you, between on this, I'm not going to be able to do this again. So don't expect another offering like this again. Look at this. Look at this incredible crystal. And we'll do it against the white so you get the idea of the color. Wow, look at that. Again, you get some neat other, look at that blue banding right in there. Look at the clarity. See how the thickness to it? And it's a preform. In the cutting, as a gem cutter, we look at that and say, wow, that's already preformed. It's not like my peridot pieces that were really bulky and are not preformed. I'm in the process of preforming. This, as a crystal, is already preformed. There's the table, you see the sides. It would make it easy to cut into a emerald cut very quickly. You can see now why rounds are such a hard cut to find. And this is what's so great about gem shopping by offering this show, is because this show can show you and then helps you understand why you don't see round stones when you think you would. Well, it's all about often weight loss and cutting for maximum weight. And you can see now why if you tried to cut a round from this material, how much you would lose versus just converting that into an emerald cut or a radiant cut or somewhere along, the shape that the crystal is. A round, you're losing all the corners, the depth, the weight, the height, all over the place. And that explains in so many ways why you don't see the round stones, because oftentimes the crystal form is an elongated form, just like imperial topaz. When's the last time you saw a round imperial topaz? Or in general, if it's no, you don't, because of course topaz crystals are elongated as well. All right, this is a fantastic single piece, no, not single piece. You get an aqua with it too, combo deal. This aqua, look at the tourmaline. Look at that tourmaline. Beautiful shoral tourmaline addition on the side with some little crystals as well. And then look at another crystal and there. And as we come up here, you see, look at that iris. Wow, that beautiful, beautiful prism. Some additional crystallization. And then look at this at the very top. Let me get this against a white background. Look at that. Look at the cap. Is that not cool? You have a yellow or heliodor cap against the aquamarine. It is things like that that can aesthetically really make a difference in desirability in a crystal. And I find that I get thrilled when I see things like that. And that's why these items I'm offering now, you haven't seen this. I tucked them away. I tucked the unusual ones away. And now, of course, what we're getting down to is Shawn and Raven's favorites. And Aquamarine is her birthstone. So, yeah. But she has some stunning aqua crystals. She has an aqua crystal in matrix that I should bring in just to show off, but I don't think she'll let me. I don't think she'll trust me that I won't sell it. Of course I wouldn't sell it. I gave it to her as a gift. And but she has some stunning aqua crystals. She doesn't like aqua in general as a birthstone, but she absolutely adores the crystals as a mineral. But she has her share of aqua, and I told her wear her cat's eye aqua. She's been wearing it the last 3 days. She has cat's eye aqua, earrings and ring. Beautiful cat's eye aqua ring. Yep, aquas form cat's eyes as well. So look at that. Look at that cap. Isn't that neat? And colored, natural crystal, just all kinds of goodies in this one. So this collection of 2 crystals is, again, bargain priced. And, it should be a lot more than only the $88. Again, only $88. I think we ought to try to find some opportunity like that for that kind of deal. Not going to happen. It already made up for you. And with the information you're getting that is going to be correct, it's not going to be heat treated, it's going to be is what it is for real as represented. So, okay. One crystal left to show you from the barrel of surprises here. Pun intended. Item number 1051922. 1051922. And this is one that hopefully I can get out of its special wrapping here that Shawn overdid, and now it's okay. Quit laughing at me over there, guys. I should have normally, if I had good help, they would have already had this unwrapped for me. Oh, I should not say that. She's going to throw a rock. No, she won't. She'll throw something like a bottle. She won't waste a good rock on me. Okay, here we go. We're almost there. It's going to be worth it when we get to it. We're almost there. Okay, I'm going to throw this in a minute. Okay, we're there. All right. But that's part of the anticipation, isn't it? Okay, here, look at this. This is a big one. It is the one that was the 2-inch long one that we featured earlier. 1051922. It's, look at that. The longest crystal we featured. Thank you, perfect. And it has notated, of course, etching, but we're going to explore the etching. Now, I like when it's like this, when you get these other crystals going in alternate directions. That's always a, let's show this against some, there we go, so you can get to see the color and the clarity. All right, now, as we explore further and into this, okay, look at when we catch the light down the side, you can see that all this has grown on one reflected plane. But when you turn it sideways, you'll see multiple different formations of crystals. It's kind of where they have been etched out. Some have continued their growth, some haven't, like over here. Remember, crystals love to heal themselves. And that's why you hear about healed fractures, or in rubies and sapphires about healing inclusions. And it's from where nature will cause an earthquake, who knows, different shifts in the earth will cause a crystal to become cracked or split. And what happens is the growing solutions or minerals around it will continue to grow and fill that crack or split. And you get the healed areas or alternate growth. And oftentimes at other angles. It's really neat when you look back into the healed areas and into the etched areas, because you can find so many other littler crystals that grew in those places. And see this, when I catch the light, look at this. See this all reflected on the one plane? And so you know it was a whole crystal at one time. You can see a couple of different ones there. Just so much fun to explore. So this is a nice, long, showy crystal due to its length and could easily be made into a piece of jewelry. But here's the fun part, the price. How would you like that for $48? Now, if that's not a sale opportunity on a crystal that I've never shown before, not supposed to do that, $48. Okay, let me take a minute and put up some of these crystals, and I'll be right back. Wow. Okay, I thought if you were not awake from the and didn't want barrel, well, let's move it to the other collection that I do. I do Made in America collection that I focused on all my years, like where the fluorite came from. Then the other was my birthstone, garnet, and all the different families of garnets and all the wonderful things about the 6 families of garnets. And so as part of that collection, I had numerous very, very beautiful specimens of the spessartine garnet and smoky quartz coming out of the Wushon mine in China. And wow, there is nothing like them for in the marketplace from anywhere else that is so outstanding as this material. Again, when you talk about mineral specimens, you can't hold it against the poor mineral specimens from wherever they may be from. If they're from a country that maybe you don't like the politics of or whatever, well, don't hold it against the mineral specimen. Remember, you're buying Mother Nature, and Mother Nature knows no borders. And also, Mother Nature only makes limited quantities of items, and sometimes those items are only found in one place in the world. And in this case, the spessartine garnets and smoky quartz of the, you can see, world-class qualities are found nowhere else except this place, Wushon mine. And if you want something like that, well, yep, sorry, you got to go across the border and get involved with getting a specimen from maybe a place that you're not politically aligned with. Doesn't matter. You're getting the mineral specimen. Now, that said, I have had these beauties, and I'm going to show this one, and I have one other one. Both of them are higher end. This is the less expensive one of the two. Now, if you try to find these in the market, there is so few of them. When I looked a number of years ago, there was so many more of them. And as expected, they get absorbed into the marketplace by the collectors, especially the nicer ones. It's the nicer ones is where, I'm not supposed to use the word investment or anything like that, but let's say this, I can say this. It is in all commodities, as far as the gems and minerals go and specimens, whether they're cut or crystals or faceted, it is the nicer, higher quality pieces that are the ones that the market decides are worth more as time goes on. And without a doubt, in this market of these particular specimens, that has occurred. Many, many years ago, I spent a big chunk of money and bought a flat of these. I am down to only 2 major specimens from that purchase. And I've hung on to them. I've hung on to them. I showed them many years ago. I have not shown them in a long, long time. But also, the market for me says that I can't hang on to everything, and I need to free up some funds, because yes, I went to the doctor, and I'm going to only say that there's some issues that I have to deal with, and some things I'm lacking, and I'm going to continue to seek further care, including going on to a dermatologist, as I do have skin issues due to the fair complexion that I am, and having lived in Florida and in the sun. And now part of my problem is I'm not in the sun enough for vitamin D, and also iron situation, plus other things. So yeah, I am under doctor's care now, so I appreciate everyone's worry. And to do that, though, you're going to get the benefit of it, because I need to pay. Let's raise some doctor money, huh? How about that? Okay, now, look at this. As Dave has been giving you a tour of it, how can any part of it not be absolutely just crazy beautiful? Look at this. Now, if you, something that's not in the description because we didn't have enough room, wait till you see. This is what makes this additionally special. It is double-sided. I am not kidding you. Look at that. There are incredibly fine spessartine garnets on both sides. Now, look at this cool green material. You know what this is? As we come in and show you closer, green muscovite mica. And much of it, if you look close, is actually covering smoky quartz crystals, as you can see. Let me get a pointer out here. this is really beautiful. So you can see quartz crystals blended in, and sometimes when we turn it at an angle, you can see some of the quartz a little better. Beautiful green muscovite. What a lovely, you can see the smoky quartz on here. What an incredible, lovely contrast between that. And look at facet gray. Look at how many of these spessartine garnets. Look at that. Remember, spessartine garnet is the manganese garnet. It's one of the most valuable of the garnets. And so many of these are facet grade. Not that, well, you could pop one or two off and maybe have a little fun with it, but if you just look at them, wow, wow. And then scattered amongst it, also, look at that. You get the little green muscovites, and then as we work our way over, you get back into some more of the mica. Now, as we round the corner, look at that. Look at the size of that garnet. There are some large garnets involved. This, very clean. There's like nothing covering the crystals. You know, one of the things that does occur from this mine, and it will cause them to fluoresce a greenish yellow color, is hyalite, which is opal, clear opal, the non-precious variety of opal. So you could always check for that to see if any of that is amongst any of this material. But exploring this crystal and this cluster is so much fun. Look at that. Look at those beautiful natural color smoky quartz. None of that irradiated material like you see is done. When you see those really black and dark smoky quartz crystals, yeah, many of them radiated to that color. This is an extremely aesthetically pleasing piece. Look at the additional smoky quartz cluster over here. Look at that. Every part of this specimen is covered with value. In other words, where's the matrix? There isn't any. It's almost garnet against garnet. There's a little bit of underlying material here. It'd be fun to kind of look at it for you to check it out. There's a lot of exploring left on this piece for you to look at. The neat thing about this is it just stands out. Now, speaking of stand, I have to keep my stand. I'll let you get one of better quality because it's certainly deserving of it. But look at that. That just, see how I like the clear stands, by the way? Because as opposed to wooden ones, they can come around the edge, but you see right through them. You don't even notice them. It really just shows off just the piece. The front, the back.
No, I mean, I know.
What a display this makes. The price I'm going to put on this, yeah, it's one of the higher end specimens, but compared, and this is where I'm going to ask for you to go look at the market. Go look, and there you'll find one or two maybe specimens. They probably will not be world class or comparable, but try to price shop this. I want to challenge you, even if you're not interested in purchasing it, price shop it so that you can realize when I tell you what a bargain something is, that you know, if you don't already believe me. But still, sometimes the salesman in me comes through, which I don't like. But sometimes I feel like it need to be sold, and I've never really been one of those people to behave like that. But in cases like this, the price is going to be so much less than the market. It's one of those, I just want you to realize how inexpensive it is. I just thought, let me show you one more thing. Since I was talking about that quartz crystal and how dark it looked, I wanted to show you, and I've actually never done this, and looked inside this crystal. wow. Because you know what? There could be, look at this. I should have already done this. I have not. There could be everything from a huge water bubble. I see to internal crystals of spessartine I have found in these before, which is neat to see, where a spessartine is completely enveloped by the smoky quartz. Wow, looking down in this, sometimes you can find and realize that there's phantoms or other minerals as well. Now I'm just really curious as to exactly what I'm giving away here. Yeah, I would if anyone gets this. Look at the way those crystals are growing up that crystal. I love that. I would recommend that you examine it for all possible, like what's in the top of that, all possible other anomalies, from anhydro water bubbles to, look at that, there's something else in the top of that, to internal minerals. Thank you, sir. See, that's what I call about, having fun and playing with your minerals. Just like Miss Barbara said about having that anhydro bubble. Look, it's fun. Well, it's really a lot of fun to spend a lot of time. And I'm not talking about 10 minutes. I can look at something like that and literally hours spinning that around and looking deep into it. Okay, here we go. Here is a price that I have marked it down. It's a final price. It's not ever going to be less than this. It just can't be. Look at these additional smokies right there. How neat is that? All right. Something that should be 3 times this price is only right now $688. $688. And this is where I want you to try to go find one with that much value for that kind of money. Look at the size of this. And here's the other thing, just so you can see. And that's that size is, especially in this kind of specimen, is cabinet quality size, cabinet quality. And I could actually put, especially the double-sided nature to it, museum quality to this piece. There is so little nicks or damage to any of it. It is really that level of rarity and beauty. Now, I said there was 2 of them. Let me show you the second one if you're waiting to see it to make up your mind. This is item number 1051422. 1051422. Let me show you them side by side for a moment. Look at that. Wow. Okay. So this is what we're looking at. Considerably larger. All right. So, but there's a completely different look. And it is a very, very, very desirable look. Now let me talk about this for a moment. Cabinet specimen indeed. This really shows best at somewhat of an angle, so you can see the 3-dimensional look of those smoky quartz crystals coming up from the feldspars. Now, let's start taking a tour. Right over here. Yeah, David went right to where I was thinking the same. This reminds me of kudzu here in the south. Kudzu, you've heard me talking about it before, about a vine that if you're standing still for too long in a field, you're going to be covered in it. And literally, you can drive around in the country out here and see houses, cars, telephone poles, fence lines, everything covered in kudzu. It was a invasive vine brought in from Japan back in the 20s. For stabilization of erosion in hillsides, and it has just taken over the south. So that's what it reminds me of. But wow, what I'll take that any day. Look at that, spessartine crystals growing up the smoky quartz. How attractive! Look at that. Is that? I mean, look at this. It's almost like or a body snatcher. You can see I like horror movies. Look at that. I mean, just taking over but that's what is so attractive about this specimen. Here's the other really beautiful thing. You could literally pop so many of these crystals off if you so desired and have some wonderful, fun, little loose crystals right off the feldspars. Look at that, like in there. I mean, who's going to miss a few? I mean, it's never anything I've ever, I say to do that, but have I done that? No, because I feel like the specimen would almost make a noise, like, like hurting, but it wouldn't be. Look at this. Yes, it is not completely double-sided, but there's a back edge to this, and let's show you. This back edge in itself, green muscovite, but in this case, it really wraps around the quartz. You can see the 6 sides of it right there. And let me show you, look at the quartz crystals. Look at those smoky crystals coming up. The clarity of the spessartines. Wow. I mean, that is Fanta orange, like the other one. But the neat thing about, Dave, let's go right to this crystal right there. Look at the fun clarity to that. Look at how clean that smoky is. And look at how big the surrounding crystals, that orange color against the white. Now, when I was doing some research on this specimen and looking at some of the best known mineral dealers, I got 3 different types of feldspar listed for what. Now maybe they form 3 different types of feldspar. But then I saw a smart dealer just say feldspar group. Yeah, what is that? Oh, look, it's mica. It's a muscovite mica with a little bit of the green part to it too, I believe. All these smokies need to be looked at for any type of unusual inclusions. I have done none of that. None of that. I have not checked this out closely at all. And that's where hidden value can be found that hasn't been discovered. Like these smoky quartz. Finding something inside of them. Look at this. Look at this. Where you have mica and the spessartines coming from above, just taking over it. Coming up, oh my God, this is so pretty. And why I have enjoyed it for so long. I'm showing you every angle. We're still, you haven't even seen this side. This is one of those pieces that a day would not be long enough to look at all the cracks and crevices and backlight all these smoky quartz for phantoms, for anhydros, for rutile inclusion, for no telling what else you could find. Look at this poor crystal. He fell down, and what happens? Gets taken over by its spessartines. This one almost looks, is it doubly terminated for real? Can we go to this end right here, there, Dave? That looks like a termination point. Same crystal. There is the other end. Yeah, that's a doubly terminated. It sure is. It sure is. A doubly terminated. Wow. I'm not going to change the price for it, but that is certainly adds value. That completely adds value. All right, so what I was saying about the feldspars. One said they were microcline associated with these. The other said they were albites. The other said they were orthoclase. And the smart person said they were feldspar group. It would be difficult to say exactly what type of feldspar these are. So I'm going with they belong to the feldspar group. Oh man, hold on. See, once I relinquish this, it goes to Kevin, and if it sells, I'll never get to see it again. So I want to, like, look at it, and I never even plucked off a single crystal. Look, there's a lot of other things here I have not discovered or looked at. Look at, there's crystals growing back underneath that edge, which makes me wonder what this is. Wow, look at the clarity of some of this. This just mesmerizing. I could go on and on, but I wanted to give you a good look. This is not an inexpensive specimen, but again, compared to, look at the size of that, compared to what one like this would sell for, it's a very inexpensive specimen. Wow, this is stunning. This is really stunning. Your opportunity on this is going to be a price of only $988. Only $988. That is world class all the way, and of course would easily make it into many, many museums. Maybe not the Smithsonian, but there's certainly many other gem and mineral museums that if they had a specimen of this, would certainly not be of this quality and beauty and level of value. That's, again, I like just at a little bit of an angle, shows off the green, shows off the 3 dimensions. Wow. Less than $1,000. It's never going to be less than that. It'll never be less than that. And this is actually going to be the last time that I will be showing those 2 specimens. Again, they showed them many years ago. They didn't sell. I have brought them back due to my economic needs. Other than that, they would be being enjoyed back at the house. But don't not buy them because you hear my reticence in selling them. I wouldn't be offering them unless I didn't need you to find the need for them in your collection, because they are to be shared. And if you ever look, and why tags and provenance become important, because if you ever look at mineral specimens, the high-end stuff, or even the dealers that deal with them, they'll always often mention the previous owner or even before that. And as they are sold, which they are always sold unless it's handed down in a family, but that seldom occurs. So they are often sold from one collection to another collection or collector. And that's the beauty of them. They're timeless. They're timeless. And for them to be passed from one to the other, that's the natural course of mineral specimens. They're overall, basically, they're shared amongst all of us to be enjoyed. And pieces like that are exactly that, because if you have it, there's not going to be anyone else with one. And so the only way they're going to get to see it and enjoy it is if you share and you own it. Because at that level of cost, even though it's easily, we looked at the only one we found was about half the size, not nearly as attractive, and was $4,500. $4,500. I kid you not. And if you go and Google it and look for that, you'll see that specimen. And this one is nicer. So that's why I'm saying, if you ever wanted something, no one else, very few people could ever have that level of, make that level of purchase, whether it's a $4,500 specimen or a $988 specimen. But, you know, when you have it, it's almost your job to let others enjoy it that love minerals and specimens, and share your minerals and specimens, because you know, if you're a rock hound, you love to see other people's rocks and minerals, And one like that, not too many people are going to have it to see. All right, let me take a moment here to make sure these get wrapped up safely. Wait till you see what I have coming up next. This is one you haven't seen, including, this is what I'm talking about, labels. You do not want, I even have a special little bag made for this label to go to keep it in the shape that it's in. Look it, it's typed. That tells you right there what it's, you know, prior to the 80s at least, you know. Delphi. When I first saw Delphi and then IND, what did I think? India, the country of India. Delphi sounded like, you know, the oracle, you know, Delphi and whatnot. So I thought it was more of an Asian specimen. Then I got looking a bit closer. I thought, no, here's the other giveaway. Remember what year was it when we went to a two letters for states? Remember when there was 3? IND, what it stood for? Indiana. So that also dates this piece whenever between typing and the abbreviation, which I should have looked up. So that's why I think this is one of those that when I can put estate. Remember I talked last week about mineral specimens being estate. Well, they can be part of an estate and be listed as estate, even though all minerals, of course, are very, very, very old, but when they're handed down from one collection to another, they are. I found this, keep up with this label, I did. So what was I able to do? I was able to look up Delphi, Indiana, and you know what I found? That this particular location, this sphalerite, is only one of 4 other minerals that are mined at the Delphi limestone quarry. Calcite being another, dolomite being another, and chalcedony being another. Of all things, then sphalerite. I don't understand sphalerite being a zinc sulfide, or how could that mix in with the others without there being other additional minerals being found at that quarry? And there just isn't. Here's the other thing. If you even go to Mindat, the big source, there was only like 2 specimens that were even pictured from this location. It was so rare to find anything available. And it said, look at that blue. There's the blue Dave was looking for. He goes, look at that blue. It just happened to be shining. But sphalerite has that metallic finish on some of the facets that will give you those cool reflections like that. Now, this is very heavy as a specimen. You can really feel the weight to it. And look at these beautiful crystal forms. Now here is the thing about it that we were looking at, and I'm going to be able to show you that. That's the actual color. That's the actual color. Let me show you what we're really looking at for the color of this material. And you have to be able to do it at the edge of the crystals to be able to see the true color and be able to penetrate it enough. Wow. Okay. For me to be able to penetrate the crystal that deep into it for the color shows you and makes me wonder just how transparent is this? Is there facet grade quality material within this piece? And wow, there very well may be. Sphalerite is one of those minerals that until you start polishing into it and cutting into it, you don't really know what you have. But look at that. I mean, look at those colors. So, you know, we've seen sphalerite coming out of Spain, being cut into, you know, stunning, beautiful stones right along these colors. Look at that. Look at that crystal. Look at that color. Look at the clarity. This having that wonderful reddish orange, orangish red. You can see there's a couple different colors. Here's more of a yellowish orange. And then when you have the light right there and you can see how far down it's actually penetrating, sphalerite's one of those that will always have inclusions. Unless you have a really tiny stone, the big sphalerites that we used to sell always had inclusions. It's just depends on, the lesser number of inclusions, the better. Look at even the greenish yellow color sphalerite over here. So you can expect some inclusions, which really makes me wonder just really how good the quality of this is. Look at the colors in that. If it was to be cut. All right, thank you, sir, because I could play all day. We got a lot more to do. All right, so look at this. What a fantastic collection of crystals. And other than that, the only really nice shaped sphalerite crystals I have found have been the solid black ones, the old zinc blend or pitch blend of the sphalerite that is like more the metallic ore, not the gem variety ore. This is stunning. Why in particularly stunning? And we have Indian sphalerite. It's actually Indiana. Maybe that was my. No, I have it right. It's Indiana sphalerite from the Delphi Quarry in Indiana. And this is a large, exceptionally rare crystal cluster. And to find anything like this from that particular quarry, you can see how old it is. Boy, that really, really makes it a rarity. And let me just show you so you know when you get it, Indiana, it'll say on your description. I have box and label. If they don't give you the cheesy little box, that's fine. Don't worry about it. You're not getting any special box. What you will be getting is that label. They may send you a better box. Price on this, you want an amazing opportunity, it is only $77. $77 on that. Now, I have one more to show you. It doesn't have the label, but it is obviously they both came in the same estate. This is 1052422. 1052422. And when you look at rocks and minerals from different locations, unless it's quartz or something like that, it's always obvious to be able to spot something that's not from the same mine or is from the same mine when you get identical type formations. If you look at the pictures like on Mindat that they have for, like the two pictures they have, one of the things you will notice in the crystals of the sphalerite is these linear striations on the crystal like that, which is different. It's unique for in a lot of the sphalerite I found. Well, you can tell that this crystal has those same fanning out type. Here we go, linear fan formation. See that, like a fan? See that, like a fan? You know it, then it's from the same locality. There was only one label. It goes with the larger one, but let me show you this one. Let me show you the color of this. This is another wonderful opportunity.
Item number?
1 second. And you can see that this is a little bit different in color. It's a little bit more yellow, a little bit more orange, a little bit of a yellow-orange tone to it, but again has some really beautiful, beautiful translucency through the specimen. Thank you, sir. This was item number 1052422. So yeah, a quarry that has sphalerite but only has calcite, dolomite, and chalcedony for the other minerals mined out of it. Really, really unique. 1052422. And the price on this one, only $57. Only $57. Okay, let me show it to you. So you can see on this one, brownish orange, so a little bit different color tone than the other one, from Indiana and from the same quarry, the Delphi quarry, from my own collection, obviously. And another rare, made in the USA collectible. Another really amazing jewel. Now, this next one is an amazing, true work of art. And you haven't seen it before, for the most part. 704117. 704117. It is, yeah, check this out. One of the true old-timer gemstone knives made by the Kelly team. Laura and Kelly, who I've worked with for a long time, and where the blades are completely hand knapped. 704117. And when you hear about gemstone knives, I kind of laugh sometimes because I'll see this completely metal knife and it'll have one little gemstone in the handle. That's not a gemstone knife. This is a gemstone knife. Hafting, that's what Laura, his wife, does. Hafting is the art of connecting the blade to the handle. Now, this isn't flat against flat, no. This is completely notched out, the blade's notched, they fit together, and she custom dyes her own hafting material. She actually used to use original actual cat gut, which is what they would have actually used, or something similar to buying that in the old days. But of course now she uses a synthetic material that she dyes herself. This is beautifully done. This is Oklahoma Keokuk chert, and chert is a type, well, that is related to flint. Chert is related closer to flint. It's what some of the material that originally was used for tool making by the Native Americans. Now, we talked about rhyolite earlier. Here's rhyolite. Now, doesn't it look like there just should be a Mexican opal sticking out of it and shining? Wouldn't that be neat? We have done incredible boulder opal handles. We have sold knives in this range in $4,000 to $6,000 and more. But those were the ones that we had boulder opal handles, and were amazing. Green obsidian blades and whatnot. This is a really fun, awesome size if you're adding to your collection. It is initialed right there, KJ, for Kelly, signing on it. Wonderful, wonderful rhyolite with some amazing colors in it, and a incredible, beautiful color and quality of chert that matches the handle well. Add it to your collection. It also has a rhyolite box. It's seen a little wear. It has a little bit of tear there, but so it's going to be a as-is Riker mount box that comes with it. But you don't want to display it in the box. You want to put it out like you see it now, and get some kind of nice stand for it. I have a discounted opportunity on this, which is something I don't do, but I'm going to. We're going to make that only $128. $128 on that one. And giving you a real opportunity at getting a American artistry. And that's what is so lacking anymore, is to see American artistry. And they're just two great young couple that really love the lapidary arts, and he completely hand cuts the handles and hand knaps the knife using, this would be using not the pressure flake method, but more taking like the you know, chert against chert method, like they would have done. But you can't do that method with things like you've seen with obsidian handles. So, I mean, and blades. And speaking of that, let's look at 829318. This is an
829318.
yes, sir. This is what Raven and I decided was going to be the last time we show this knife. After now, we're going to put it in the collection since I've sold off my other nice ones. Look at this. Look at this. Here's your obsidian blade. This blade is so sharp, I could cut myself for the 4th time. Yes, when we used to show these on air, common, in the live show, it was 3 different occasions I would be feeling the sharpness of the blade and cut myself so much that I used to have to put my hand out and have the girls bandage me while I'm, showing stuff with this hand. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Now that is stunning sheen obsidian, gold sheen obsidian, and which is created by other inclusions that formed in and while the obsidian was cooling, which is of course started off as basically magma coming from a volcano. Look at that. Look at that. Well, how well does a gold sheen go with genuine silver? Let's look closer at that. Yes, this, I gave Kelly the rough material and he completely cut this, cabochon cut basically this handle. Look at the beautiful veins of silver running through this diabase. Diabase is, this also has some epidote in it as well. Diabase is one of kind of the rocks you'll find in the earth that you don't hear much about. But in this quality, it can be polished up into some beautiful material, and it's also material that metal or material will run in, like silver. Look at that. Look at all these silver veins. Look at this. This is a really beautiful, beautiful, natural. Look at that. That's just a big natural piece of silver in there. And I tell you what, nothing makes much difference with this knife, but the way silver and gold's been going up, this, look at the silver over here. What a showpiece if you're going to have a, wow, I don't know if you'd call this a yeah, it is because of the handle, the gemstone knife or a silver ore knife. I guess you could play a pun and say a silver or gemstone knife, pun intended. Look at that. That's some of the strongest gold sheen obsidian. Now, how he does this blade, he'll take a piece of metal or another stone, rounded stone, and push real hard against the obsidian. And it will flake off when you know what you're doing, which I don't. And he flakes it to a sharp edge on one side. Look at that polished edge on the top side, and believe me, as sharp as that point is, and as sharp as that edge is, that will do whatever a normal knife, you would want a normal knife to do, and including being a weapon. So, and look at the shape to that. That has such a good feel, even with my finger on the hafting like that. You can see the KJ initial right there saying it's a Kelly Johnson original. Wonderful silver, and it's really neat the way he used the quartz part with silver in the quartz at the end like that. That just turned out magnificent. Look at how long that is. That's one of the bigger knives that he has ever made at 9.5 inches long. That comes with a big Riker mount box that you can display it in, or like I said, they're beautiful to be displayed out. That is a stunning, stunning, true work of art. And you just don't see American artistry much anymore. I have a amazing, again, opportunity on this piece, and like I said, it's going to be the last time we showcase it, and it's absolutely one of a kind. one of a kind in the world, and that's easy to say. The silver ore handle, that kind of a blade, that kind of workmanship. Wow. Yeah, not another one. Price on this one is going to be only, and I do mean this isn't only, $588. $588. Last chance at it, because after that, it just it's worth so much more, and I don't want to end up regretting it, because that's probably the, I'm down to, for the biggest knife, this is by far the biggest one I have left. And for the most unusual with that handle, only one like it. Okay, let me tuck that one away safely. I'll be right back. It's Gem Collectors with Shawn, and there's no telling. You're going to see gems everywhere, from knives to just a parcel of beautiful faceted cut stones. Now, these are Thai rubies. When I was in Thailand, was able to get an amazing deal on these. And look at this. And let me show you, because I don't want the black to throw you off. The black actually never changes. It just shows you the clarity better than actual colors. But in some of these colors, look at this. You get some beautiful, beautiful. The Thai ruby is known to have a little bit of a purplish cast to it. But look at that. You can also find some wonderful pinks. And then this. Look at that. Look at these. So I have. Look at that. That's a purple sapphire. What a wonderful mix. I have 3 parcels of this material. Look at that. Look at that cut. This one stone, when I tell you the price of all 25 stones, 10 carats. And here's the neat thing. I don't know how it turned out, but when I put these parcels together and just randomly grabbed the stones, let me see. They all came out to right at 10 carats and 25 stones a parcel. So I have 2 other parcels. Here they are, just to show you that they're all alike. Now, I had already made such a good deal on these price-wise. I couldn't believe that. Look at that. That every single parcel wasn't sold, because even if you only use 1 stone from it, in a 10 years period of time, that you're going to get your money's worth. And if you want to have fun and learn how to cut corundum, this is a great way to take some material, look at that, and recut them if you want, and improve your corundum cutting skills. Because to get rough corundum that would facet this quality, yeah, that would be far beyond what I'm asking for it. Okay, so if you didn't like the old price, I just should say, fine, I'll keep them. But no, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make them less than they were $48. But I'm going to make them less than that, because you didn't get them at $48. But I'm going to make them at a price where they will not be ever again less than, and beyond that, I'm going to, I'd keep them. I'd keep them. So if you will change the price on these, let's go with, how about this? 10 carats. That was less than $5 a carat, right? All right. I can't even do 30. $39 a parcel. You know how I am about 8s and, the lucky 8. No, I can't even do 38. $39 a parcel. $39 a parcel. And I've got 3 parcels available. And then that's it. Anything that's not sold, I am keeping. I am keeping, because that ruby, 1 stone is worth $39. Think about that. What did I just show you? Okay, well, you don't need scolding. If you don't want it, you don't want it. Let me go ahead and drop this back behind there. Oops. And, look at that. Cranberry. That is cranberry indeed, as Dave said. Now, oh my, what is this? I said to Raven the other day, I said, I guess we sold both pairs of diamond earrings, but I guess not. Let's look at item 1045522. 1045522. I guess maybe the round pair of diamond earrings sold. I don't know. I haven't looked. Maybe they're back as well. I'm not going to take the time to put these on a earring thingy dingy because you know what they would look like. Look at these. Look at these. Princess cut. Oh, let's give you a size. Princess cut diamonds. You could use these for side stones, but I tell you what, graduation coming up, how about a nice gift for a responsible graduating teenager? These are 1/5 of a carat each, 40-point total weight. And I like the basket settings, 14 karat gold. The clarity is a really nice clarity for earrings as well. Look at that. Price on these, I guess I'm going to discount them, which I don't know why, but I am. I'm just checking, making sure everything's right. Can't believe it. Okay, here we go. Let's really do something ridiculous, because you know what? How much the mountings would cost if you had the pair of diamonds and you wanted to have them set? It would be well in excess of $100, $125, maybe even as much as what I'm asking for them right now. How about this? I'm going to let those go out the door, sale priced at $158. $158 for the pair. Wow. Wow. Need I say more? Will you mark the price on that? Wow. An emerald necklace available? Really? Wow. Stick tight, lavender chalcedony, crystal opal? Where was everybody that day? Let's look at item number 104. Let me see. 1046222. 1046222. Yep. All right, let's take this jewel out of there. You get a suspension box, no extra charge for that. But it actually displays really well in there, so that's why I am including it. And let me show you this. Let me show you